Hello, everybody. Welcome to Defy the Gods, session zero. With this very important session, we're going to be creating characters, creating a world, and if we have time and inclination, we will do a world forces scene, setting up a conflict for next time. And if not, we'll do that at the very beginning of the next session. But before we jump into what this game is and what it's about, let's go around and introduce ourselves. Um, and first of all, who you are, what your pronouns are, and maybe like one piece of sword and sorcery fiction that you like a lot. So my name is Alex. My pronouns are he, him. I have been playing tabletop RPGs not that long actually compared to some of you, only for about 5 years or so. Before that, I was playing a lot of computer RPGs and like watching Let's Plays, and then I was like, you know what, this seems fun. I would like to do it too. This game particularly is a lot of fun. I've run it a couple times and played it before in some playtests. Actually, one was Space very recently, so we had a good time, and I hope we have a good time as well. Um, One piece of sort of sorcery fiction that I like a lot is Xena Warrior Princess. I think it hits the themes of like defying the gods really hard. There's some strong characters. It's easy to jump into and out of episodically, which this game is kind of. And of course, I like all the old Greek myths and everything. So I will popcorn it over to Kim. So, Kim, can you introduce yourself and then popcorn it to somebody else?
Of course. My name is Kim. My pronouns are they or she. It was just sword and sorcery, or was there another thing? I blanked because I was trying to figure out if I ever had engaged with anything sword and sorcery, which I have, of course, but now that someone's asked, my mind is blank.
Or
Um,
just like, a myth like that you like or history. Like what draws you to this game, I guess.
well, I was a classics major.
Hmm.
I'm big into transformation in myths and things changing because of outside powers. So I like that about mythology.
Sick.
Space.
Thanks, Kim. Yeah, so space, they, them, I am, wow, Kim, you gave me the bug of forgetting everything that I've ever known. No, I'm kidding. Um, so what draws me to the sword and sorcery genre, I guess, is the sort of heightened, exaggerated kind of like emotional content
Hmm.
of it. But also thinking about spirits and ancestors and gods and how these are all kind of similar concepts and how they flow in and out and what is your life and your destiny and all these things. So yeah, that's me. I will popcorn to Rod.
And that question is so much better, so let's go with that too, because uh so
Hi, I'm Rod, he, him. Which question should we go with? I'm sorry.
what is
Oh,
about the genre that you like
okay,
or the mythological like setting that you like, I guess. The
cool.
themes.
Yeah, I like fantasy in general. Sword and sorcery, I guess I like there's an earthy quality to it, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, but also a grittiness. And I enjoyed the Conan movies.
Hmm.
I like that we're having a more queer centric version of it. Um, but yeah, just like defying the gods and being individuals who are staking out their own destinies. It's appealing. So, and I'll popcorn to Donna.
Yeah, thanks, Rod. My name's Donna. My pronouns are he, him. Because I've been playing role-playing games for more years than I care to recount. And yeah, I mean, I remember watching Conan the Barbarian when I probably shouldn't. And even to this day, if it's on, I love watching the first 14 minutes of it, which I think blows everything else from that movie out of the water. The aspects I like about that is, this, inescapable force which is gonna, wreck things in the world, but also the beginnings of this kind of taking your destiny into your own hands, right? So this two sides of the same coin, I guess.
Awesome. Yeah, those are all great responses, and they tie in very well to this game in general, which we'll talk about in a second. I'm going to do cats, basically, concept, aim, tone, and subject matter for this game, and then we'll get into some character creation. So what is the concept of Defy the Gods? So the first blurb is basically, the world is against you. A single sword stroke or kiss can change everything. Your glorious destiny beckons, but beware the monster you may become. Dare to write your own epic. So Defy the Gods is a queer sword and sorcery adventure romance set in fantasy ancient Mesopotamia. It's fantasy, so if we get things wrong, this is not like historical, oh, we have to be set in this year in this particular city, right? It's a larger than life thematic guideline for us. We spin yarns of daring adventure, messy romance, and treacherous power. Defy the Gods thrust you into a cosmos ruled by a pantheon of capricious gods. We live in a city that wants to push us to the margins and forget about you. Surrounding the city are the trackless wilds where gigantic creatures roam. Hidden in pockets out there are the ruins of lost Atlantis, brimming with latent power and the desire to live again. And under your feet is the underworld, realm of the dead, waiting to embrace you and those you love forever. You and your friends stand against these forces. You use your unique talents to carve out a space for yourselves. You may rely on the hearts you give to others to save you, or you may choose to seize cursed power for yourself and claim your own godlike destiny. Explore a mysterious world, confront dark fates, withstand the wrath of the gods, remain human and vulnerable, or allow power to transform you. So Defy the Gods is a PBTA game. It uses a lot of conventions of that system. I'm sure all of you have played Powered by the Apocalypse at some point. So for example, it's a freeform story, triggering moves, basic moves and playbook moves that you all have access to on your character sheet. And also Doom moves, which accelerate your ascent to cursed power. So it's a little bit like Apocalypse keys in that sort of way. And that, you can accelerate your character's path towards Doom, and you get access to cool new abilities, but that also makes you at risk of becoming an NPC if you fill it up too quickly. And just like Apocalypse keys, every roll is 2 six-sided dice, and you add a stat. But I got a little ahead of myself, sorry. The stats are epithets, which are phrases that describe who you are. So, for example, the sword has one is like, who simplifies things with violence, right? So you might add +2 to that. And anytime that epithet applies, you're like, I feel like I'm simplifying things with violence here by just like punching this guy in the face and ending this conversation prematurely or whatever. Or it might be, like who uses their cleverness as an escape or something, So all of those things that are true about your character in that time, they may change over time, and that's part of the game. Dice results have 3 banned results. So one is 0 to 7 is a miss. If you roll a miss, you probably did not get what you want. Sometimes you might, but it has like serious complications. Glowing or full success is an 8 to 10. So that is like you pretty much get everything you were going for. But if you roll an 11 plus, you get a burning success where you get more than you bargained for an inch closer to your dark destiny. So it's like Conan pushes over the column, but it also kind of takes the temple down around your heads and stuff. And then you have to deal with that situation. So again, that's like the risk reward of power, basically. It's like, do I want to roll really high, but then risk causing these other complications and stuff? Romance is at the heart of Defy the Gods, where embracing a friend can advance your goals. As just as far as slaying an enemy. Dare to charm others, risk falling in love, open yourself up to a web of relationships. Kisses can cut deeper than steel. So NPCs actually have epithets as well. So you can take them out by just fighting them and slaying them, or you can be like, I'm going to convince this general to turn sides to join us because I'm just too dangerous and sexy for them to ignore, right? But they can also get hearts over you, and I can use them as a resource to influence you to do things too. So it's like a double-edged sword. Defy the Gods is set in an ancient world at the dawn of writing in a land like ancient Mesopotamia. Life is made of fired clay and cast bronze, set to the rhythm of dry seasons and bloods. It's a queer game. Your adventurers all live on the outskirts of society, hated by the gods and sustained by the love they share. You don't have to be queer to play it. The queer experience enriches any sword and sorcery story, whether queer or not. We do have a romance matrix on the Google spreadsheet, which I see everyone filled out, so we'll review that in a little bit. But yeah, it's intentionally like gender is fluid, it's very society is you can be whoever you want, right? And that's very important to the game. Defy the Gods beckons you into a world where sorcery is as powerful as it is perilous. The immortals draw near enough to touch, and a single sword stroke or kiss can change everything. So, before we get into character creation, let's talk about safety, because safety is, the most important thing of any part of any game. We're all here to have fun and take care of each other. So we're going to be using different safety tools to make sure that, that is foremost in line always. The first is that this is an open table. Like anytime that people need to step away to do adult things, like drink some water or go answer the door or whatever, feel free to do that. If you have an emergency and need to step away more permanently, that's totally fine. Just let us all know so that we're not concerned. And, if you want to step away permanently, you're like, I've tried this, it's not the game for me or the group for me, no judgment. Feel free to take off there too. The next tool we're going to be used is lines and veils. So lines are things that we do not want to see in the game, period. Veils are things where we're okay if they're in the background of the setting, but we don't want to focus on them too much. Ask first would be like if something comes up and we just want to check in with each other, like, is it cool, if we keep exploring this? Then spotlight request is, if there's something like that you definitely want to see in the game, and we can add on to that later. Like it can be things that are, like I want to see, like a particular fight scene. Or it could be like, I want there to be manicores in this game because I think manicores are awesome, so that's totally fine to add things like that. I think people have mostly filled out the lines and veils already. Is there anyone who hasn't got a chance to look at that or? All right. So lines that we've established are ableism, harm to animals, homophobia and transphobia, racism, and sexual assault. I do want to ask about harm to animals. Is that just like domestic pets, or is that any animal whatsoever? Because there are, potentially animals in the wild like giant monster animals. If we want to just line that completely, then that's totally fine.
For me, it's basically named animals.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I don't remember if I checked it or just agreed with it, but pets.
Okay.
Or named animals.
All right. Thank you so much. And I might ask for clarification, just on those sort of things, but it's totally okay. We're not going to go against that. So, all right. So veils, things that did I say all the lines? Okay. Homophobia and transphobia, racism and sexual assault, and sexism and dental industry. So we want to avoid all of those altogether. For veils, gore, harm to children, sexual interactions, eating meat, descriptive, and cancer. So there can be like sickness in the setting, but we don't want to focus on it in the game, like as a thematically or anything. All of that we fade to black on, or just we don't talk about it more than just in passing. Ask first, we have mind control. So I don't think there are too many situations where that might come up, but sometimes with the gods, there might be a scene where it potentially could happen. So we'll just check in with each other first. Nobody has put anything for spotlight requests yet, but I do always want to say that lines and veils are evolving. If there's something you think of later that you want to add at any time, you certainly can do so. And if there's something where we had it as a veil and you're like, actually, I'm kind of squeaked out by this. Can we make it a line? Totally fine to do that in the future. The only thing we don't want to do is move it to a less restrictive category, if that makes sense. The last thing that we're going to use is called script change. That's basically like if you were watching a movie, you might pause and be like, let's just stop this scene for a moment and discuss it. Rewind, like, I don't like how that played out. Can we skip back to the beginning of the scene and retcon things? And then fast forward, right? Like this is dragging on a little long. It's making people uncomfortable. Can we just skip past it to the next scene, right? So that way we can, yeah, control the scene just like we were in a writer's room or watching an episode of television and stuff. Like I said, there is a romance matrix on the sheet as well. So this is basically showing whether you are comfortable with romance between PCs and NPCs. I think most people checked yes for everything. Space, I did see that you put ask first. So I guess you're okay in general, but you just want to make sure that, we discuss it in advance.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I'm assuming we're gonna something like that. If it gets set up ahead of time, then that would be nice.
Okay.
Is what I kind of yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Okay. So let me skip ahead to character creation. I had it set up, but then I moved it. Okay. All right, so we're going to, there are 3 parts to beginning a game, and the first is creating our adventurers, and then we're going to build the world, and then after that, we will answer relationship questions. Okay, so don't answer the relationship questions until we do the second part, basically. The first thing we're going to do is pick a playbook, and then fill out the pick list questions at the top. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 playbooks right now. The playbooks are the Revenant, which is a fugitive from the underworld who's trying to embrace their new life. The Sailor, a wide-traveled, mischievous flirt who always has a plan. The Sorcerer, a lonely scholar of the forbidden art, warping themselves and others. The Sword, a big-hearted person whose violence both solves and causes problems. The Vessel, the submissive lover of a minor immortal, imbued with transcendent power. The Wolfling, a human raised by creatures of the wild, trying to learn where they fit in. The Thief, who basically causes problems for other characters and society, but gets away with it because they're so charming and cool. And then the Demigod, who is rebellious against their divine parent, but torn between their destiny and their connection to their mortal parent. To get a sense of each one, look at their suggested epithets, their special heart move, and their first playbook move. You may also want to read the playing the section at the end of each playbook. I guess that's going to be added later. And then after you've chosen a playbook, fill out the descriptors at the top by picking one thing from each list or substituting your own answer. So before we get too far into it, is there anyone, Space, I know you've been talking about wanting to play the Vessel. Is there, I guess we'll go around and ask, is that still the case first of all, or? Okay. Kim, is there any playbook that's really calling out to you or a couple?
The sorcerer and the demigod, but they're all good. I think not the thief and not the revenant, but everything else is appealing.
Okay. I will say the sorcerer has some different mechanics, which is kind of cool because sorcery, you don't have complete control over it. That it goes a little wild, but the mechanics are really fun. So, don't know, do you have a particular one or two that you're looking at?
Yeah, I was looking at the Revenant and the sword, probably leaning towards the sword, but
Okay.
again, like Kim said, they all look pretty awesome.
All right. And Rod?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna think about it. Well, people, yeah, pick whatever you want, and then I'll take a look at what's left. Yeah.
I will say, like, don't worry about group dynamics in this game too much. We just played a game that had a thief and a sailor, and I was like, are they going to be too similar? And it worked out really well, right? The same thing, like if you have a demigod and a sword, it's totally fine because it's not really about that in terms of like everybody has a move where they can fight, but you're all pulled in different directions, and it's more about your relationships, right? So. I'm going to step away to get some more tea. I will be right back. And then after that, maybe everyone can finalize a playbook. And if not, we'll take a longer break. Okay. Yeah, be right back.
So, Space, you were definitely the vessel.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for concretely ruling out one.
Yes, no problem.
We'll have a list of 5 for you, Rod, by the end of this. Hopefully that will reduce your analysis paralysis.
Yeah, hopefully.
In my brain, someone had already called, or not dibs, but had said that they were going to do the wolfling. I don't know why. I may have imagined it, or I didn't even look at it. Now I'm like,
Mm,
ooh.
yeah, I think I that's probably me because I was deciding between the two, so I may have said that. Yeah, but yeah, if it's calling to you, you should. And Rod, feel free to throw ideas out if you need a
Sure.
lift, a hand.
Thanks.
Figuring it out.
I forgot to mention, we are going to be taking periodic breaks as well. For session zero, we might just play it by ear, but when we start playing, it'll probably be on the top of the hour.
Sounds good.
Okay. Don't know, have you like solidified on the sword or were you still
Yeah,
thinking about it?
I'm gonna stick with the sword. I think.
Okay.
Uh, but maybe you can kill me off and I'll revenant myself back in.
The good part about this game is, again, the underworld is like a real place. So even if you die, people could just go and rescue you there. Or you could decide to retire. It's fine too.
I will go with the wolfling.
Nice.
Now it's on you, Broad.
Uh, hmm, hmm. Yeah, I'll need a couple minutes though.
Okay. I guess we can go ahead and start talking about the pick list. Okay, so first of all, you're gonna choose a name. Um, Actually, I'll read off the flavor text for each of the ones that we have picked. So the first one is the sword. Life is simple at the point of a blade. You believe you can solve any problem with your strong arms, including protecting your friends. But your impulsiveness and capacity for violence sometimes hurts those you love. The world would eagerly grant you amnesty for your crimes if you'd submit, abandon your friends, and commit to channeling your violence towards the world's ends. Play to find out if you would sooner die for your friends or become a tyrant yourself. So pretty cool. And then the vessel, you serve, you love and serve a minor god, your patron. They love you, inhabit you, and possess you. In return for giving them control, you receive some of their power. Their bond is sometimes isolates you from your friends, but you know your patron can show you a path forward for all of you. The world's pantheon hates your patron and your unusually intense relationship. They seek to bind your capacity for submission and service to a proper god, quote unquote. Finally, well, not finally, but so far we have the wolfling. You are wild. Though you were born human, giant animals raised you as their own child. You have found a new human community with your friends, even if you sometimes act in ways they don't understand. The world sees you as ugly and wrong. It wants to tame you, civilize you, fit you into just one category or the other, and wash away all the subtlety of who you are. So we're noticing kind of a theme here. Um, do you still need more time, Rod, or?
Uh,
It's
all
okay to
right.
say yes.
Yeah, it's totally fine to say yes.
I will say yes.
I just don't want to get too far ahead of me.
Yeah, no,
Um,
go ahead. I'm paying attention while I'm thinking. So,
sure.
Is
So,
there any implication of how recently the wild wolfling has entered human society?
Hmm.
I mean, we'll probably talk about that, right?
Okay.
I will say that all of you know each other and have had at least one adventure together, you know. So it could have been a while ago, and you've been going back and forth from the wilds frequently. It could have been, just very recently too. So, um, okay, and from the pick list, you choose your name, your pronouns, describe your gender, like because in Defy the Gods, gender is not, like male, female, or non-binary. It's like ball lightning, a whispered secret, possessed, shifting sands, gold coin tossed in the air. It's more evocative than that. So, because you can be whatever you want. Describe your personal appearance, which is different for most of you, your body, your accessories, and outlook. Um, the pick lists are very, very cool, but if you have an idea that is different and you want to add your own thing, just go wild, right? No one is stopping you. Okay,
I think I'm gonna try the thief.
nice. I had a lot of fun with it when I just played it, so
Oh, okay.
it's very, very, very fun. For the thief, the world is full of beautiful treasures that ugly people don't want you to have. But you go where you please, take what you want, and make it look good. Your terrible boundaries make you a dangerous friend and lover, but your transgressive nature makes you alluring and useful. Let the wealthy try to destroy you. They have to find you first. What will it take to draw your heart out of hiding? So I'm going to collapse these other ones for now, at least. Okay. Once you have chosen all of those details, you're going to pick your epithets. You will pick 3 from the list of suggestions. Um, After more experience, you will get the opportunity to write your own, which is cool, because they can change over time, like I said. But to start, your epithets will have a worth of +0, +1, and +2 in any order. The greater the worth, the more central it is to your adventurer's sense of themselves and their reputation. And then after that, you will pick your starting playbook moves in addition to the ones already picked for you. The vessel works a little differently, and instead of moves, you pick miracles. And to start, 2 or 3 have been picked out for you. But I think everyone gets to choose 2 in addition to the ones that are checked off. Mm. And I think that is all for character creation. So once everyone gets to that point, we will go around and introduce our adventurers to each other, reading out their name, pronouns, gender, the rest of your pick list, and the epithets you choose. But again, we'll wait on relationships until we do the world building stuff.
Alex, I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Would it bother you if I used the same name as the last
Nope,
All right. Okay.
because your character will be different, or maybe
Yeah,
not.
it will
That's up
be.
to
It
you.
will be.
Even if they're not, like, the cool thing about this one is like you're epic heroes who are found in different stories, right? So you could actually play the exact same character and it would still make sense. But that's totally up to you.
Thank you.
Like Conan was found all over the map of Hyperborea and
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I'm probably gonna pause the recording because empty silence is not great viewing, but then I can answer questions if anyone has them. So okay, cool. Now that we have our characters, we're going to go around and introduce them. So like I said, talk about your name, your pronouns, your gender, some of your pick list choices, the epithets you chose, and then like if you want to talk a little bit about your concept and stuff for your character too. That's totally fine. I think I'll go in reverse order on the Google spreadsheet. So Kim, tell us a little bit about Kiru.
First again. Um, so I definitely haven't solidified the epithets because I'm really still thinking about how they interact with moves. But I would be playing the Wolfling, whose name is Kiru. Any pronouns. My gender is Flood. My parent is Suat of the Cat Clan, and I don't know much in ways of pronunciation of any of these things, so would love corrections if someone knows more or differently than I. My face has watchful, staring eyes. My body is sinuous and coiled, and my dress is unadorned. My outlook is pitiless.
What? Well, I don't want to interrupt you, but
No, interrupt away.
what is the Cat Clan like? Do they live in the outskirts of the city? Do they are they nomadic and roam the wilds? Do they have
Um,
cat-like features?
I couldn't tell if they were just giant cats or not from the text.
Hmm.
I was imagining them equally at home everywhere, but preferring the outskirts because I was like, if there's a lion and cat has to be the slightly more domesticated version,
I like,
nominally.
yeah, I like that there's a liminal space in the regions where they get like more and more wild the further you go from the city, maybe.
Yes. Was that the whole question? Or
Sure.
yes. Okay. My epithets at the moment are who speaks honestly to those who they respect, who will chew through their leg rather than be trapped, and who is ready to learn unfamiliar ways. So I'm
Very.
imagining them curious, very uninterested in being in one place, and sort of having the distinction between like these are people who I like and talk to and respect, and this is everyone. So like the pitiless is also if I don't think of you as a worthwhile person, I really don't care about you, sort of
Yeah,
cat way.
very cat-like for sure.
Um, and that was the order. The respect is 0, the chew through the leg is 1, ready to learn is 2.
Nice.
And that's it, right? Or
I
did
love
you
it.
want more?
Unless any other person has another question about your character, otherwise we'll circle back to you at some point.
Awesome.
All right. Then next we have Space. Space, tell us about Bardum.
Yes. So Bardum, any pronoun is fine. The vessel is the playbook. Um, so Bardum's patron, I chose a demanding being as yet unnamed.
Mhm.
And I haven't um written down the domain yet, but I have a couple of ideas. So give
Okay.
me a minute on that. Let's see. Gender is wilderness path, fiery eyes, elegantly muscled,
I love it.
has a staff of ancient wood, um, and I imagine that there are names and sort of signifiers of important stories and places carved into this stuff. Um, Outlook full of lived experience.
It sounds like maybe the
And
domain, you can have multiple domains, but maybe one of them is like stories or naming or something like that.
oh, I like it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that a lot, actually. Okay. I'll fill that in a minute. Epithets, I've got who seeks to disappear into their patron's voice. That's a +2. Who sees the world from a god's perspective? That's a +1. Who, when finally giving their heart, gives it utterly? And that's +0.
I like that you're not quite ready for that one, but you're like, when it happens, it's gonna be really big.
It's gonna be, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to know more about this staff and some of the stories that are carved into it. But I think that's something where we can like play to find out too. So like anytime where you're like, this reminds me of a story that's carved into the wood, run with it for sure. I love that a
Amazing.
lot.
Will do.
Are there any other worshipers of your patron in the city, or are they like repressed? Is this a banished god, or it's just like a barely tolerated one?
No, I think they're definitely banished and looked, so I'm sure there are, but they're few and far between. I don't know that Bardoon necessarily knows who they are,
Hmm.
um, but is probably eager to find out who they are. Yeah,
Nice. So there's like kind of like a secret lore, group of, like secret
yeah,
storytellers and stuff. That's really cool.
exactly.
Okay. And next we have our sword. Is it Intaka? Or
Yeah, Antaka, whose pronouns are he or they. Um, I guess not surprisingly, the first option on this list is actually their weapon, which is an overlong Atlantean sword. I'm sure we'll get into that lore later.
Mhm.
Their their gender is Blade's Keen Edge.
Hmm.
Oof.
Their face is focused. Their body is hidden like a blade in a sheath. Their dress is practical leather harness, and their outlook is moody,
Hmm.
which may give me scope to be,
Yeah.
a little bit
Very
all over the place.
melancholy and mirth.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah. I mean, glum and jovial, I guess, if
yeah.
we're going to tip our hat to a certain
Sure.
game.
There you go.
And Antaka's epithets are who simplifies things with violence. It's the first on the list for a reason, right?
Mhm.
Which is a +2. Um, who kneels to no one, a +1. And yeah, I'm not really sure. There's a lot of other good epithets here, but I've put in who keeps their heart vulnerable at 0.
I like that there's a little bit of softness there where like this is where I am. I'm so, hard and violent, but there is like this vulnerable core and everything too.
Yeah, and I guess they are just not good at that.
Mhm. Yeah,
Maybe this is how they get hurt, right?
right. Do you think that you found your overly long Atlantean sword in a ruin that you explored, or is this something like passed down from generation to generation?
Yeah, I wonder. I have an inkling that maybe Antaka was on the wrong side of how whatever conflict brought the current rulers of the city or the gods
Hmm.
to power. And maybe this sword is from before. Maybe it's something entrusted to him. Maybe it's something they, yeah, found out in the wilderness when they were exiled, So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm kind of angling as something from before, something
Hmm.
maybe he is holding for someone else. Uh,
Nice.
like he rescued this from the ruins of the palace or something like this.
I'm sure there's someone who definitely bears a grudge against you and your sword. But we'll talk about that
Yeah,
later,
yeah,
particularly if there
yeah.
was some kind of like civil war that you were on the losing side of or something. Cool, cool, cool. Finally, we have Lunazel Moonlark. So, Rod, tell us about your thief.
Yeah. Uh, Moonlock, I guess that's his undercover name
Hmm.
when he's uh, doing what he does best. Um, Pronouns he, him, they, them. Gender is coin down a well. Um, Face still and watchful. Body liquid. Dress clothes of your pretended trade. The idea I have right now for that is that he's a kept man for a noble. Obviously a disguise that makes it easier for him to uh, be a thief. Um, Manner, solemn with an invented pedigree. Uh, Prized possession is an unsellable, one-of-a-kind silver bowl. The Thieves Guild wants what I can steal for them. Epithets, who walks in shadow, is my +2. Who hands others their misfortune +1. And who gives their heart only to pull it back +0.
I can see why you all like each other. You're similar in some ways. I will note that your masquerade move lets you steal like intangible things, one of which can be like identities, right? So
Oh,
I
cool.
really like that you're like, you have this invented pedigree and you're the kept paramour of a noble. So you're maybe pretending to be a little bit more important than you are. Do you have actual legitimate feelings for this person, or is this like setting up a future heist, or are you not sure?
I'm not sure, and I'm toying with a revenge theme also,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure yet. So,
Let's keep it complicated then, I guess. Maybe the Thieves Guild is like, hey, while you're there, there's some valuable stuff that you could take.
exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we'll talk about that more in a little bit. Does anyone else have any questions regarding these characters, or otherwise, once we finalize stuff about the world, that might cause them to be a little clearer?
I have a quick
That
question
second thing. Oh,
for. Oh, go. Oh,
no, you.
quick question for Rod. Like, why is this Super Bowl unsellable? Get down to brass tacks, you know?
Oh,
Is it
it's
so
damaged.
valuable?
No, it was damaged, and I'm again toying with the idea that somehow it saved my life, like from
Oh,
a
okay.
blow or something. Um, yeah. Mhm.
Maybe you're like, I can't sell it because of the damage, but more it's like the sentimental value or something.
It's the reminder of
Yeah.
my or the reminder of my vengeance, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Nice. Love it. All right. Let's get started with the world forces, and then after we narrate the Pantheon, maybe we can go on like a 5 minute break because we're approaching the top of the hour. Unless we want to just do that early and then come back. What are you thinking? Okay. I guess everyone's good to keep going for now. Um, so, um, so yeah, now that you have adventures, you don't yet have relationships with each other or the world. To make those relationships, we need to build out the world a little bit. So by default, it's the player's job to build the world, not the GM's. But the GM facilitates the process and keeps it moving. So the first thing we're going to do is define the pantheon of the gods. All power in Defy the Gods ultimately flows from the pantheon. The pantheon refers to demons, spirits, and gods of all genders. The pantheon is haughty, pitiless, and manipulative. Its members feud with each other. They may be related by blood or marriage ties, which would merely increase their acrimony and hierarchical divides, right? These people do not get along. Each member has, well, sometimes they get along when they're scheming with each other, but this is not like a happy family situation. Each member has 4 domains, areas of the world under their rule. Some domains overlap with others, setting up friction between the members. Each player defines at least one Pantheon member. We can add more later as convenient, but you pick a name, a primary domain, a domain of the natural world that they control or have some influence over, an abstract concept in an area of mortal affairs. You can roll randomly on each list or just pick them. You can come up with a myth that ties them all together, even if they're seemingly unrelated. It's also okay if there's some overlap because it just means that the gods might feud about that or they have some kind of like ceasefire over like different aspects of that domain and stuff. So I'll give everyone a couple minutes to look over that. I see we already have some gods already. So when you're ready to introduce them, just give me a thumbs up. needless to say, none of these gods like you particularly much. They might use you for their own ends. They might even flirt with you occasionally, but ultimately they're like, darn those adventurers. Why can't they just do whatever we want instead of, living free and, defying us? They certainly don't like Barnum's minor patron too for being outside of their complete control.
Should I put them on here?
You can just for reference if you want, but just to be clear, they're not part of the
Yeah.
pantheon itself, or if they are, they're on the outskirts. One cool thing about gods is that you can actually wound their epithets just like any other NPC. It is harder because they can deal when you get hurt, what happens is your epithet gets wounded, so it's worth like -1 in total until you get it cleared by spending time with your friends, in fellowship and whatever. But if you wound the epithet of a god, it causes them to have temporary non-control over their element, right? So, for example, if you wounded a Shog, maybe they lose control of all their tiny monsters and they just go on a chaotic rampage and stuff, which is good and bad, right? So you have to think about that too. Epithets can get wounded both when you take action against them, and also if they're no longer true in the fiction, right? So if you break open the gods of death, then maybe Nintu has trouble controlling that domain. Uh, so, and the same thing with all of you. Like if you act in opposition to one of your epithets, we might be like, well, it sounds like that might be wounded right now in the sense that you're not really portraying that. You're leaning away from solving everything with violence. You gave someone a big hug, you know. We have some good gods already. The only thing I think we're missing is Utu, who started that one. Maybe someone clicked on it accidentally or whatever. All right. So let's introduce some of these gods. So whoever made Nettie, tell me about Nettie. Or is it
Oh,
neat? Is it Needy or Nettie?
Nettie, yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, let's see. Nettie uses Nettie as
Hmm.
use Nettie's name. Um Primary domain is searing knowledge. Um Natural world is the sea. We also have secrets and fishing. Um so gosh, I don't know.
Well, is
Um
that like if you stare into the sea, you can get prophecies and premonitions, but it's also like, maybe
it's
detrimental to your mind
painful.
or
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it is not a pleasant experience.
Hmm.
Yep.
That's kind of cool. And we can decide where the Atlantean ruins and stuff are later, but if they're
Yeah.
like under the waves or something, then maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Um, but
And I
that
assume that,
But
yeah, and I assume that those who go fishing, who are, actually on the sea and interacting with the sea in that kind of way, are probably going to have experiences that touch into this,
Hmm.
whether it be seeing visions or getting sort of lost in
Hmm.
the the waves and, not being able to come back to reality kind of thing. Um,
Yeah, so maybe there are some people who sail out intentionally for that kind of experience. And
yeah.
then there are others who like, I'm going to leave offerings, so please don't give me a weird vision in the middle of my fishing expedition,
Right, right. Exactly.
I need to focus. Okay, cool. That kind of suggests that there's at least water somewhere nearby.
Yeah.
I know we talked about in the Discord that maybe the waters had risen up at some point due to the actions of the gods, but we don't have to be beholden to that. But I like that all. So all right. Next up we have Eshig or Ashag.
Uh, yeah. Let's see. Esheg or Shah. Esh Esheg. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Hmm.
I put pronouns you yours just to reflect their confusing nature.
Hmm.
If that
Nice.
gets too confusing for us, we can change that. Um,
I like it.
Yeah.
Primary domain was hidden danger. Um, and they're also in charge of the natural world of tiny monsters. Not necessarily, uh, size doesn't necessarily mean they're harmless, of course. They could be very lethal. The concepts are lies and trickery, and moral affairs is music, because that tends to hide things, and
Hmm.
I don't know, it can be mysterious in its own way.
When we say tiny go monsters, are we talking like golems or are we talking like tiny crabs that are everywhere?
Oh, I'm thinking any tiny monster. So it would just be, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is Ashok like a hated god, or people who are like, the god of monsters damn them? Or do they have like, we have to let these tiny monsters wander around the city, or we're going to offend Ashik. So there's like all these tiny creatures crawling everywhere.
I I don't know. I was thinking tiny monsters in the wild, but
Hmm.
I I'm open to anything. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so think about that. Definitely hidden danger, would be important for thieves though, right? Like because they have to be aware of traps. So maybe they are a patron god of thieves, or maybe they're one where they're
Maybe.
they're opposed. What are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I like that. My initial thought was that the hidden danger was Eshog, or was the dangers were
Hmm.
things that Eshog hid to make things more dangerous. But I like the flip side of that, where the thieves are also invoking
Hmm.
that deity so that they could discern the dangers as well.
Nice. It could also be like, I'm going to challenge you, so my chosen will become better and stronger thieves and stuff. Cool, cool, cool. Next god is Ishkur. Got it.
Yeah, yeah. So Ishkur, I think, is probably where I'm gonna end up with this pronunciation. So her primary domain is destiny, and in the natural world, it's air and winds,
Mhm.
and the concept of augury, which I think is probably, let me know, space. Don't think this is like, maybe this is the flip side of secrets. So secrets are things which happened in the past, where
Hmm.
augury is very much in the future, things that may or may
Mm.
not happen, right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
And then in terms of mortal affairs, it's about travelers. So I don't know, like, do you visit her temple before you go on a trip to make
Hmm.
sure you're going the right path or the right time or whatever?
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think these are all probably pretty closely aligned. I think it seems like a natural thing. I don't know about the winds though. You know, do winds have a certain association in this world like they do in ours? Like the north wind is always cold,
Hmm.
or whatever it is. Uh, when there's an east wind, is it bringing something with
Hmm.
it? I don't know.
I think that makes sense with the concept of augury, right? If you're studying the winds, like, there's something coming on the horizon, we can tell by the change in the winds and everything. I like that this pantheon is very centered around like knowledge and hidden wisdom and no with wisdom you have to access through like augury and everything. It makes sense that they would all be aligned in that way. Like maybe they even came to power by reading and creating these portents, right? Um, do we think that they used to be mortals like yourselves and then became gods, or they were maybe like minor gods and took charge of destiny to elevate themselves? Or there are different stories and nobody's confirmed it.
I think it's not confirmed, and I also think that it's probably not one or the other. I think
Hmm.
some probably were mortals, and I don't think that would be the regular way for it to happen, but I think that has happened for sure.
Nice. That's
I
it's kind of a
I
pyramid
imagine,
scheme too, that you can like get more
yeah,
mortals to join in.
Oh no.
I imagine that if the gods did come to their position that way, they have pulled up the ladder insofar as they can. They don't
Oh,
want anyone to think that they can
100%.
overthrow them, right?
Right, exactly.
That's dangerous talk.
Which is why my patron is so hated and like bringing all their stories of previous pantheons and
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Like we don't want people to know that there were gods before us. We don't want them to know that there's a path to godhood. That
right.
that's dangerous information for sure. Love it. Okay, next is Nushka, or is it Nuska?
Oh, Nushka, I kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so Nushka, they rule sort of, so let's see, where are we? The desert.
Hmm.
Their primary domain, um, her primary domain is wisdom,
Hmm.
concepts of history and writing. So kind of similar in some ways to Nettie. Actually, in a lot of ways, it's just,
Hmm.
the desert versus the sea, but it's still this idea of knowledge and in it, as Donna was pointing out, like this is history as opposed to sort of, so looking back versus looking forward.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that anybody who sort of takes writing seriously and is trying to like be really scholarly about it, would do well to
Hmm.
align themselves with Nushka.
Is Nuska your patron, or are they a separate god?
They're a separate god. Yeah.
So why is it okay for Nushka to have dominion over history and writing, but there's lore that's not approved? Is this like state approved history?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. Yes. Well, oh, what did you? Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Victors have definitely written history. So yeah, they have a narrative
Yeah,
that
there should be
they,
quotes around history here.
yeah. It's like this is the correct history, and you guys disagree with it, so we have to get rid of you. Wow, that's
Very
way too real right now.
cool.
But let's
Yeah,
continue.
fair.
Yeah. But I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there like a big library in the city, do you think? Or, or the market where scholars just
No, I think
debate
there
or
is, but it's not accessible to the public,
okay.
right? Or it's not y- right. There have to be certain conditions under which one who is not who a mortal could enter and actually lay eyes upon any of these
Cool.
texts.
So there's like secret archives and stuff. I love it. Good things for a thief to potentially break into. All right. Next god is Zisudra.
That's me. Zasudra has any pronouns. Their primary domain is shadows. Their natural world is moon. Concept is wholeness, and their mortal affair is weaving. And shadows, moon, and like the cyclical nature of a moon all seemed to sort of hit on this wholeness as well. And I don't know, weaving seems like like making things whole.
Mhm.
So I liked that synergy.
I love it.
Um,
And yeah, like if there's a body of water nearby, then obviously the tides would be super important and everything. Um, Shadows would be very important to Thebes as well. Um,
It's true.
nice, nice,
and this
nice.
next one is mine as well.
Okay, tell us about Nintu as well.
Again, any pronouns, their primary domain is depth. The natural world is the water's surface. Concepts are boundaries, and mortal affairs are gates. And they all seemed to touch on the theme of there's an other side of something
Mhm.
or like a liminal moment.
I love that.
Do we think that we're going to talk about the underworld in a bit, but do we think like the underworld can be accessed under the water or via the water in some way?
I don't think all water, but there's probably some water or something you can do involving water to get there.
Yeah, I
Nice.
like this idea of the boundary of the sort of the water surface and boundaries and how that might allow you to pass find a passageway. Yeah.
Very cool.
When I saw like gates and boundaries and water surface, I was thinking reflections, like
Oh,
mirrors.
nice.
Hmm.
Also very cool.
Yeah, I'm loving this pantheon so far. I can see how they all align and how they might feud over specific domains and everything. Um, and there's a lot about like control too, in a way, like control of knowledge, control of what where you can go and what you have access to, and whose approval that you get for that access. Very much smothering in a way, which is great. Okay, so before we talk about the city, why don't we take a little break? Do we want to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes? How much time do people need?
You can. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. So
Sweet.
let's come 50 minutes after the hour or so.
Yeah.
I will pause the recording. All right. So now we're going to talk about the city. The city is where you all live. It is a labyrinth of treacherous laws and beloved customs. No matter how you feel about the city or how it feels about you, it's home. However, it leaves little room for you to live in peace. Within the city, you have found informal communities that offer more warmth, but they are under stress just like you. And sometimes, directly because of your actions, they will not save you. So we're going to go around and take turns answering some questions about your home city from the drop-down list. As usual, feel free to ask questions and make stuff up. Um, and we'll go ahead and start with Rod and go to the right on the character keeper. So Rod, what's the name of this city? And it could have had multiple names in the past or whatever, but this is what people generally refer to it as. On the names tab in the Google spreadsheet, if you scroll down to where it says cities, it also tells you what they mean in Mesopotamian, if that helps you um, get ideas and stuff.
Oh, cool. I picked Barag Usum.
Let me see. Baragusum.
Nest of Dragons.
Sick.
Hell yeah.
Okay, and we'll talk about whether that's because it's a patron animal or there's something about the terrain. Let's talk about where it's located. Okay, that would be don't know.
Yeah, that's me. I know we talked about like an archipelago or something like this if we want to have like a flooded post-Atlantean world, but maybe we'll go like on the coast. Maybe we
Cool.
can have our cake and eat it a little bit.
It could still be on a big island or a peninsula or whatever, but it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
specifically near the coast in some way. Great. So, space, what is some one unique thing about the city and its people?
Um, I have two here. Borders on, you know, I have to go with this one. It borders on a reflection of itself, entered through mirrors or the water's surface. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Kim.
Yeah, that fits very nicely with Nintu's whole deal. What does that look like in the fiction? Like what how are we envisioning that?
Well, I think in general, like if you look in the right way at the right time of the day, there's like this shimmeriness in the air up above and towards the sky, and you can almost see yourself reflected back. There's this like kind of ethereal
Yeah.
reflection, mirrored surface of the sky, really.
I
That
like
I
that because it works really well with Ishkur and Nettie's whole deal too. Like if you stare into the sky or the water, you might see a
Yep.
reflection of yourself with a
Mhm.
portent of your past or future,
Yeah.
but that portent could also drive you a little mad.
Yeah, right.
You know?
A little bit.
I just saw myself get murdered. Is that actually going to happen? I don't know.
Well,
That's great. I love it. Okay. And then Kim, what's one product or some products that the city is known for?
Once again, they're all good. Um, I think I'll pick granite, small marine fossils, and opal.
Nice. So kind of like gemstones. Is there a mine nearby or a quarry?
I think so, yes. Or probably, I guess there's probably a granite quarry and an opal mine,
Mhm.
and maybe one, I guess probably more likely in the opal mine. I don't know much about rocks.
It
Like the
suggests that
fossils
there's either
are,
hills or mountains nearby somewhere. So think about that for the wilds, or that you guys do a lot of trade and then refine them later.
Mm-hmm.
but I was thinking that the small marine fossils are found concurrently within the mine and that they're old.
Hmm. I like that because it suggests that the water used to be a different level or something like that. Sick. All right. Uh, Rod, who are the rulers of this city? Is it like a single tyrant? Is it a democratic assembly of feuding senators? Is it a monster? It's up to you.
Yeah, I like feuding collection of wealthy families.
Mhm.
Keep things interesting.
I mean, that makes sense with the like granite, small marine fossils, and opal and stuff. There's a lot of trade and refining and probably some wealthy scholar families too who visit the archives, a lot of temples. Um, this is a collective question for everybody. What are three Pantheon members do we think have temples here? Or, if they all do, like, which are the three largest, like, most important temples?
Um, I definitely want
Nintu's got to be in here, right?
that.
I think,
You read
yeah.
read my mind. Yep.
Hmm.
Definitely think Nettie.
Mhm.
An Ishkur?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, this is the city of divination and boundaries and stuff.
Yeah.
Shakira and Nettie. But there is one patron god or creature of the city in particular. Don't know which god is that.
Oh, okay.
Or creature.
I mean,
It could be a
you
patron
mentioned
creature.
manticores earlier. I don't know if that was just an example or some, you know,
It could
a
be.
wish.
I mean, the city is named the Nest of Dragons, right? So it could be like some kind of sea
Yeah,
serpent, or it could be like I don't know, a literal dragon, a water dragon.
yeah. I think maybe let's go with giant serpent, but maybe, whether that's a serpent of the sea or not, who knows?
I mean, it's the city of like reflection and gates, right? So it could pass from one element to another. Maybe that's how the seasons are tracked, like where the serpent is at any given moment.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, cool, cool. Um, Space, what is a landmark your city is known for? We did talk about that there is this library. So it could be that the city's famous for the library, or it could be that there is a library, but there's a landmark that's more famous.
I think I'm gonna go with Lighthouse.
Mhm.
Only because I feel like the library, it might it yeah, it's because the library isn't public, I feel like it's
Yeah.
a different kind of, you know what I mean? Like it's not a landmark, it's more like, but yeah, maybe I'm
I-
splitting hairs, but
Lighthouse is kind of cool because there's this confusing these confusing images of the city that exist
Mhm.
in the, like horizon.
Yeah,
So it probably would be very easy for fishermen to get off course. So the
that's
lighthouse is like,
true.
no, 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 this is the actual real
Yeah.
life city. Great. Cool, cool,
I
cool.
wonder if in that case, maybe the lighthouse is actually both, it functions both as a lighthouse and a temple
Hmm.
for Nintu.
I love that. How are we feeling
Mhm.
about that?
Wow.
Keep that in parentheses.
There you go. Yeah.
Um, okay, Kim, what is one unique thing about the city and its people?
We've already had one unique thing. Do we want a second unique thing?
Oh, I think that might be wrong. Hold on. Give me one
Okay.
second. Let me see. Is there something where it's supposed to be something different? Skip to the next one because I feel like that's incorrect. What the coins are made out of
Shells.
makes
Nice.
a lot of sense. Um, things. I feel like that what should have been something else. But yeah, you know what? Let's pick another unique thing about the city. Like maybe it was supposed to be two things. Some of these are really good too, so
There's a unique thing during the day, and then once the sun has set, there's a different unique thing.
mhm.
Or maybe it's even days and odd days. I don't know.
I mean, we got a gate in the one unique thing, but I'm
Yeah?
not sure who wants to pick the.
Rod, pick something. Just put you on the
Uh,
spot.
sure. All right, let's see. Oh, uh,
Or maybe it's, well, never mind.
yeah, no, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna put a plug in for it's being built on the Atlantean ruin that's
Mhm.
mostly hidden underground. But I don't know.
It's up to you guys.
Uh, yeah,
They're all cool. I mean,
they are really
I
cool.
just,
Pulling such concern. Oh geez, I actually missed. There's more down here. Wow.
Mhm. I mean, if anyone has a strong idea,
I like gates or Atlantean, the gate to the underworld controlled by a temple or the Atlantean ruin best, but I'm not strongly attached to which one.
Sorry, that was my dog.
Hi, dog.
Oh,
um,
so we had two for the Atlantean Ruin, I think, right?
let's
And
go with that. Yeah, like
yeah,
because
I was
that
leaning
may have
towards that.
been where Antaka found the sword, or his ancestors found the sword at some point. Um,
and it might be why um Bardum's patron came, how
mhm.
they became connected.
Great, cool, cool, cool.
Can I
And
add
else,
one?
okay.
Oh, can I add one thing for the coins?
Mhm.
Like maybe like the high and the shells. In addition, like maybe like the rich people have scales of the serpent that
Ooh,
washed up that they use
come
that as
on.
monetary.
I love
Sick.
that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So is your person they have what is it? They're a kept person of a noble family or na noble person. Is
Yeah.
is that one of these feuding wealthy families?
Oh, definitely.
Gotta
Thank
be, yeah.
you. Amazing.
Yeah.
It's some kind of like oligarchy that controls trade and donates to the temples and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Amazing.
Um, so this actually is very appropriate for Antaka. Like, how do the laws try to say you don't belong in your city? Since you're quasi, not quite, maybe there was an amnesty, so you're not quite banished, but you're like less, you're a second class citizen or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Um, so I mean, I almost want to combine two of these, like
That's
be
fine.
forbidden
We
to
can make a
enter
custom
the
one.
palace or speak in the assembly, but it's like an anything, any
Hmm.
place which is officially of the city, of the rulers, like any place the laws are strong,
Hmm.
they don't apply to us, right?
Okay.
Mm,
So maybe it includes the main square as well, like anything that's part of the city infrastructure or kind of anything proper.
If you want, you can type up, some
Yeah,
modifications to that, but I like that for sure. That only the important people belong in those spaces. Okay. Space, what is a public event that you all love?
oh, that we all love, or me and my
It's,
opinion?
it's up to you. Like,
Okay. Um,
yeah, you don't have to speak for everybody. You can speak for just your character.
Athletic competition, battle commemoration, divine parade, flood and harvest festival, planting festival, other seasonal festival, poetry contest, public dance, theater contest. Hmm. I'm gonna say ath- let's do theater contest.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like the opportunity to put on a different identity is something that folks, well, that I find compelling because I'm already
Hmm.
carrying multiple identities within me.
We have a lot of gods related to like writing and history and weaving and music. So yeah, they probably put on really good
Yeah.
theatrical shows about the approved history, of course.
Well, of course.
All right. Kim, what are some objects that are sacred to your community?
If we don't mind if I continue to go on the gates, I'm going to pick the gates.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm
All
now
right.
imagining possibly also tidal gates. Like,
Mm,
Oh yeah, yeah. There could be
I
like
think
a
they're called tidal, they're tidal gates, right? When you
hmm,
drop something to keep kind of,
yeah, and walks too. But yeah, there's
yeah.
probably some ritual element to that about the opening and closing of the gates. And that's really neat. Okay, Rod, where's so
couldn't remember
popular?
if you could only have locks on rivers or if locks were everywhere.
You're probably right.
I will do a deep dive later.
Yeah, but I do like that they're sacred in some way. That's really cool. And also that also fits with that there are certain places that are forbidden too, that they don't open the gates for everyone as well. So Rod, where's the popular place in your neighborhood?
I'm going to say, I say there's a public bath,
Mhm.
kind of like those ancient Roman jobbies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
water is very important here. So That makes a lot of sense. And everyone, because they're wealthy families, they all want to be clean and smell nice and discuss politics and stuff. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, and finally, we need one secret community that you all know about, don't know.
Guess this is our act of rebellion starting. Um, I like this one. People who remember those the city has erased from history. I think that
Yeah.
is speaks
Yeah.
against these gods directly, right?
Let's go. I love it.
Yeah, both erased from the official history, people who are ostracized and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Do we think that obviously like writing is a mundane physical act, but do we think that we believe that that Nushka, the god, can like automatically like see writing or know what is written because it's their
Mm,
power?
Oh,
And
that's
so,
terrifying.
you
Yeah.
yeah,
surveil.
yeah. Maybe your staff is immune to this. I don't want to write too much into that, but then I think like people who remember it's like oral storytelling. That's the only
Yeah.
way we keep it from the gods,
I
right?
like that. Yeah. That's why you don't
Yeah.
write things down. No, in addition to the fact that it's just tradition, but it's like it's less easy for Nushka to listen in.
Yeah.
Dark. I love it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about a few wilds that are close to the city. The wilds are untamed regions surrounding the city and stretching infinitely far away. They're home to dangerous creatures who are different to your suffering or death. They are trackless and seemingly impenetrable. The creatures' laws and customs, largely unknown, may or may not apply to you. The landscape is dominated by clay river valleys with rivers thick with reeds. Downriver are fertile marshes and deltas. Upriver are forest, hills, and mountains. Beyond the river's reach, the land turns to desert or rock or sand. Out to sea are rocky islands, sometimes volcanic. You may place your city anywhere among these regions. So we don't have to define all of this now, um, but let's talk about at least some places that are close to the city. So obviously the sea is close to the city because we've decided it's on the coast. And we talked about either there being some mountains or hills nearby. How close do we think those are to the city? Are they like directly outside where it's ringed by these hills or mountains, or is it further in the that you have to travel to them?
I think that at least the cliffs are nearby.
I think there are cliffs here. And it could be like the cliffs of Dover too, where they can like tunnel into them, if that's cool. Like so the cliffs themselves might be a little mined. How far away is the desert? Because we have at least one god that's god of Nushka is god of the desert. So is it far away, or is it a short distance away from these cliffs?
I think it's on the other side of the cliffs.
And we are completely free from logical constraints here, right?
Always.
Awesome.
The drop down's not letting me do that with the cliffs, but I could just type it in.
Okay.
And yes, of course, because again, the terrain could have been actually changed either by sorcery or the gods or stuff. So yeah, it doesn't have to be like real world ecology or anything. Any other terrain that we want to be nearby, or you can always decide that later too.
I'm imagining an island, um, since we're near the sea, and like maybe there's like a mountain on it, and there's something in the caldera. Uh, I don't know if it's like maybe something an Atlantean city or part of one or something mysterious. We can keep it
We
mysterious.
don't have to know.
Yeah, we don't have to know. We just know something's there, I guess.
Question mark, but
Mhm.
an appropriate place for adventure later.
Yes.
Anything that we think is on the other side of this desert?
Hmm.
And I guess, Kim, do you think that the Cat Clan are from the desert or they're from these islands?
I was looking at the landscape we're making, and I'm really not sure.
Hmm.
Like I was thinking close enough to the city that they're semi-feral, but
Hmm.
I'm not sure that hangs together, so I need to think about it.
Okay.
Maybe maybe the desert continues, but it becomes more sandy the further out you go.
Like more like steps.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good enough for now. And then we can, if we ever travel significantly further out than that, we can get more
Refine
choices.
what we
So
see.
I think I want a rainforest somewhere far, far away if we ever do that, but
Ooh.
nice.
something lush.
Let's put it beyond the desert and the steppes because
Yeah.
you have to travel through some really perilous terrain to potentially get to it.
I mean, we might get there by some very strange means.
That's true too. All right. Next, we have to talk about the shadow of Atlantis. The Atlanteans were the Pantheon's first mortal creation before humans. They were better than us, and their civilization, which we call Atlantis, shone with glory. But there are no more. All we have left of them are their lonely ruins and sorcery, their barbed legacy to us. We'll take turns each picking one aspect of the civilization, its inhabitants, sorcery, and the ruins. I forget who we ended on. So, Rod, why don't you say pick one of the things that people say about the civil that people say about Atlantis.
People say Atlantis.
And Donald, you can pick the second one. These things don't necessarily have to be true, but they're like what you all believe. Space, I really like your choice. It says people say the Atlanteans were beings from the ocean depths who taught the ocean's creatures speech. Are we thinking like mer people, or are we thinking like humans who just happen to live below the waves or something similar?
Yeah, I guess I would say shape shifting
Hmm.
marine life. Not mer people in the sense of both at the same time, but shapeshifters, yeah.
Nice. Shape shifting marine life. Okay. And one rumor is that people say that Atlantis was a civilization that linked all beings alive and dead. Sorcerer is how we sometimes feel their pulse. Cool, cool, cool. How do we think that's shown in the setting, I guess? Like, is it like a literal like thump thump that people can kind of feel like a tingle of, or do you like have to tap into it?
And I think maybe people say that when they get these sudden sparks of intuition, or they feel like they know something without
Hmm.
any real evidence. They say it's the touch of Atlantis, or you know you've um, I don't know. People probably have some phrases associated
Mm.
with under the water
Mm.
or buried deep, you know. Um, uh, I'm not sure, your average person will have enough actual experience with sorcery to
Mm.
know if that's a real or not, and maybe that's why the rumors go, right?
But I think that really ties in well with the choice you picked, Rod, that they achieved an impossible beauty and sorcery wells up in those moments that pierce your heart. So it's like
Mhm.
anytime you have strong feelings, you're like, oh, that's connected to this legacy of Atlantis in some way. That's really cool.
And I think like something I don't know if it's meant seriously, but like in like for beautiful people, they'll say, oh, they must be part Atlantean or something like that.
Right.
Oh my God. Yeah, they would say that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but Atlantis fell because they hid themselves too well, and now they cannot make themselves seen, beware hidden things. Yeah, I also really like how that ties into some of our other choices. We don't technically have to pick another reason that they fell, but if people think there's an evocative choice. Oh my God.
What? Oh.
Said like, did it hurt when your civilization crashed and burned? Because you look like an Atlantean.
Uh, Kim, you're muted.
I feel like we already kind of got to the this is why writing is evil.
Yeah.
It's true.
I'm not sure if we needed to be why Atlantis fell, but I'm just pleased that we got there separately.
Well, I do wonder this line, they poison their own sorcery, any warped thing you see is this poison leaching into the world. That makes me want to ask us, like, what is the prevailing sort of vibe around sorcery? Is it something that's seen as like it's not talked about? Is it inherently dangerous? Is it accessible to folks in any kind of a way if you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like what is, I'm just wondering.
It might feel like it's controlled, like maybe not outright banned, but things that belong in the archives. But the wealthy and powerful are getting up to all sorts of nonsense with it.
Right, for sure.
All right. I do actually kind of like that they wrote themselves out of history, but I think that's the gods, what they tell people. Like, see that this is when you try to write your own history, this is the kind of problems that can result, right? Which is why we have to control the history. Does that make sense?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I like a
Yep.
cautionary tale.
Okay.
Hmm.
However, sorcery does seep into the world through cracks that the gods have left unguarded. So each of us will pick a domain that it seeps through.
Cool. Let's see. Domain. Oh, I've got one. They're all so good.
Can I check in with safety? I know we have a veil on harm to children, and
Mm,
I'm wondering, does the lost children here as a domain, does that is that too much, too close to harm to children?
I don't, is that in the drop down?
Yeah, sorry, it's in the drop down I see anyway, as a domain.
Oh, cool. All right.
I think the
Oh yeah,
drop downs are
each
different.
Oh,
Oh,
They're
wow.
not all
okay.
the same.
So they are.
Wow, okay. Wow, wow.
wild.
I thought they were all gonna be the same. Wild. Uh, so does
Okay,
anyone
who's doing
wanna?
which one? Drop
Okay.
down.
Well, I did the
I just
third
picked the
one.
last one.
Yeah.
I picked the first one, but if yeah,
Nope, I'll go for the second.
And again, if you don't like something from that drop down, you can pick one from the other one. You just have to type it in.
Yeah.
I've got cats in mind, and that seems wild
Appropriate,
with
yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah,
big
yeah,
old
yeah.
wolfling.
I like that the cats are inherently magical in some way.
We all knew that anyway. Actually.
Well, when you say lost children, it's like the lost children, they come back and they have been touched in some way, like they're spouting prophecies or like what are they?
Yeah, I wonder if there's almost a sense that when when a child is lost, it's like they've been taken, and there's almost like a changeling thing where if they
Hmm.
do show up, they'll be sent away or exiled, right? Maybe there's this sense that they have like left the blessing of the gods because they've been
Mhm.
lost, you know.
Got lured to this shadow reflection of the city or whatever, and they come back
Yeah, yeah.
weird. I like
And maybe
since
some do return with some power of sorcery too, right?
I feel like in that context, if they're gone long enough, you just assume they're gone
hmm,
in the sense that if they do come back, and as you say, some do, that's not them. It's
Yeah, yeah.
hmm.
It's something has taken their form, right?
exactly,
To
exactly.
try to inveigle their way into your life again.
I'm imagining a whole sort of like Atlantean, um, oh my gosh, who's Peter Pan? Lost Boys thing,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
Oh, right, right, right. Yes.
there's a story about where all of these children have gone.
Right.
Odd weather is good too, like particularly with air and winds theme that we have in the ocean.
Mhm.
Like and also kind of with the terrain being weird as well, that explains it somewhat. That there it just randomly changes as well. And then
Mhm.
sensuality that people especially with the strong emotions we talked about, like the any intense music or like connections and stuff, you can tap into the social media. That's really good. Can pick one of the things that sorcery also like a impact of it or a
Okay.
manifestation, and then Rod, you can pick the other one.
Mhm.
Not actually sure how this manifests, but likes to lie is delicious. So I'll
Interesting.
pick it
Word.
now and figure out what it means.
Yeah,
Play to
Yeah.
find out.
we'll stew on that one.
Yeah, it suggests that there's not that you can't fully control it.
Mhm.
That there's something extra, some yeah, force.
Yeah, I picked dreams distracted of millennia past.
Nice.
Okay. The nearest Atlantean ruin we already decided is below the city, I think.
Mhm.
Is it kind of like in the side of these cliffs, maybe, or within
Yeah.
the cliffs, and you have to
Well, I
like
would think
climb down to them, or
I think you have to climb down to them, yeah.
Hmm.
Or interesting.
That's kind of cool. People have to scale down the cliffs and enter these tunnels.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that.
And you're not necessarily supposed to be able to access them all the time, but thieves are constantly breaking in and stealing stuff from them that they're not supposed to. There's probably also like when people are doing renovations on their house and everything, they might accidentally break through at some point too. I like that a lot as well. All right, so don't know. It says the nearest Atlantean ruin is made primarily of what?
Um, oh, some interesting stuff. I'm tempted by sky iron, but like also obsidian. Sharp things, right? Things you shouldn't meddle with. Uh, I don't know, maybe obsidian, like visually or texturally with these chalky cliffs, like is a really great contrast.
I like that a lot. And space, what's it dominated architecturally by?
Massive tower unbuilt by time. Plaza Dodge buildings. A cracked and polished dome, I think.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because I feel like the wind, something about the winds is coming to is feeling connected here, because I mean that would be part of the polishing of it, I guess. I don't know. But also this uncertain weather
Mm.
would be why it is also cracked, perhaps. I don't know.
It could be that they were trying to protect themselves,
Right.
and it didn't work completely.
No.
Hence the big crack and why people could potentially climb down into it. Yeah, I like this bunker mentality or whatever they had.
Yeah, I imagine the dome it says dominated architecturally by. So does that mean that it says a dome? I'm curious about that because maybe there are more than one.
Yeah,
You
we could
know?
put domes,
Yeah, yeah.
or that this particular ruin is dominated by that, but other Atlantean ruins that have been found have a similar architecture or something.
Yes, yes, yes.
Nice. Particularly if it's like made out of obsidian and stuff. Um, which says, yeah, like they came under assault at some point potentially
Mhm.
by these gods. Yikes. Okay, Kim, how does the Atlantean ruin affect the nearby surroundings?
I'm torn between leaking impossible illusions and spreading patterns of good and bad luck.
Ooh.
Does anyone have anything helpful to
You
guide
can
me to
also
one or
just
the
put
other?
like a slash and it's both. I don't mind that. If we like both of them.
Yeah, I mean I do like both of them. I do leaking impossible illusions is just delightful. That sounds terrifying.
Now that like when Alex said like you can break through into this by I don't know doing construction work, I just liked the idea of impossible illusions. Realize you don't have basements this close to the ocean, but
Right.
Yeah,
I will pay.
it shouldn't work, but it does. Exactly.
If you don't mind a slash, I can't pick between the two.
Yep, sounds good.
Works for me.
And yeah, that's probably why people are like, you're not supposed to go down there because you start seeing all these weird things. But your whole society is about wanting to go and explore and see weird stuff. So people can't keep them out. Rod, what's it rumored to contain?
I'm gonna do the inscribed tower, but I'm gonna change it a little bit uh, to an inscribed tower with no apparent door or window that people cannot enter. Dot 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 yet.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yet does a lot of work there.
I
Yeah, it's
like
very
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like
When
a challenge, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah.
The when the stars align, or like people are constantly trying to break into it, and people are, why are you doing that? Don't stop. Stop trying to break into the tower. Okay, and Donald, it has a life of sorts.
There's a light. Oops.
As I go down this list, I see more and more goodness until I reach an old god chained or immured, which I cannot resist.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, one of the old gods that used to be part of the previous
Yeah,
pantheons.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm?
And final, do we think that this is a punishment, or the Atlanteans did it and the gods overlooked it, or nobody knows?
I think I don't know.
Could even be like
Yeah.
keeping it safe from whatever cataclysm happens.
Um, I don't know. I'm kind of willing to find out find out the bad way, one way or the other.
Fair enough.
Um,
When we stumble across.
Kind of
Yeah,
yeah,
bad
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But
nice.
I think maybe all this is something you were talking about space when talking about like what happened the old gods that used
Hmm.
to be like maybe most of them have passed on and are trying to come back into the world, but this is one who didn't escape, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
gods can't be killed, right?
Hmm.
Well,
All right.
I
um,
like that they're chained
so
up in a tower, personally.
yeah,
It
yeah.
feels like a prison almost. Uh, nice. Okay, and what happened to the last person who tried to enter space?
Um, whoa.
Well, now
So
you found the right one if that's your
I think
reaction.
so. I'm like, but I want to just check the other ones real quick. Okay. Brought back an artifact whoops, that remade a district of the city before it was destroyed. So the it in that sentence is kind of being a bit vague. Is it the artifact that was destroyed or the district?
What do we think?
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay.
A little bit of both, yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. Works for me.
So is
That's
there just like a gaping hole somewhere in the city, or is it that it has been so overwhelmed by all these illusions that people are like, we don't go there because it's just bad for your psyche.
I think it's like a dead, like I'm sure all of you have like malls that are dead in your
Hmm.
area, right? It's kind of like that. It's like this used to be an area, like a marketplace type of spot that was vibrant and full of people, and now there's just nobody there. It's not so visually like it's not in ruins exactly,
Hmm.
but it literally cannot sustain anybody doing anything of any significance
Yeah.
for and yeah, it's partly because of these illusions and
Hmm.
the bad, just funky, rancid vibes.
People just like walk around it, even there's not necessarily anything stopping them from
That's
entering.
exactly right. Yes,
I
yes.
like the zone of badness. Okay. Finally, we have death in the underworld. At some point, you may encounter shades, the immortal remnant of dead mortals, or their realm or their rulers. Define them here either at game start or when they come up. If we want to wait on the underworld, we can. But if we want to just knock it out, we can too.
What would you like to accomplish in the next, like, my answer to that will depend on what we want to do in the next 50 minutes.
We probably should finish character relationships then, and then when we are going to encounter the underworld, we can finalize it more. Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. All right. So we'll leave that blank for now. Do you want to take another 5 minute break, or you just want to power through?
I'm good to power through, but happy to take a break.
Maybe a quick break.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. We did
Okay.
5?
Yeah.
Bye,
Yeah. Sure. See you in 5.
You're
I
muted.
was muted. Yeah. All right. So now that you've built adventurers and a world for them to contend with, The next few questions are going to help us connect the adventurers to each other in the world. So first, we're going to take turns asking one of our interpersonal relationship questions. These are all about the other adventurers. And depending on the question and its answer, you may give that person 0, 1, or 2 hearts. And that's like how much do you care about this other person right now? Don't worry about, if you put 0 for someone for right now, because we'll give each other a lot of hearts throughout the game and everything. When you give someone a heart, the decision of yours, but they write it down on their sheet. It becomes a resource that they can use to to influence you. You don't record hearts that other people have from you. And when you write down a heart in the relationship section of your sheet, you can write a brief note about why they care about you if you want. Okay. So who wants to start first? And then we'll go in right order. And we'll go around until everyone has a relationship with at least one other person, preferably 2, and making sure to get everyone gets the chance to ask questions. So nobody volunteers. I'm going to volunteer you, Rod.
I was going to say I can
Oh,
go first.
go ahead then.
Because this first question is kind of a double-edged sword. Whom do you protect, even though they wouldn't do the same for you?
Do you want to propose someone or do you want to leave it open for the table?
No, I think things are so wide open right now that I'm happy for someone to jump on that.
So yeah, and Taka protects someone even though they wouldn't do the same for him.
Or if everyone says definitely not, I can pick a different question. Space, you're muted.
Sorry. I was gonna say, yeah, I can take that. That's I feel like the bar for Bardoom to protect someone else is pretty high like balanced against this constant other uh hi buddy, this other but the patron, right? So yeah, I feel like that's consistent with Bardoom.
Yeah.
I don't yeah, I don't feel like it's a personal thing. Do you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, it's just it's not my priority.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Do you think that Antaka wants to protect Bardoom because of like they are, not an avatar, but they're connected with a god from the old
Mm,
times, and
mm.
and he has this kind of loyalty to that,
Yeah, I
or
can
is
see
it more
that.
personal? Okay.
And I don't know if they've actually discussed this, so it may not be clear.
Yeah, why do you keep wandering around acting like my bodyguard? But you're really curious about these old lore and stuff.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So give
Yeah.
Bardoom 0, 1, or 2 hearts, depending on how strong you think that relationship is.
Um, let's go all in. Let's say 2, right? I want you to be able to abuse that relationship, right?
Really curious. Okay, so Space, write that down on your sheet under hearts. And
Amazing.
then choose one of your own relationship questions and ask it.
Okay, just a second. Why are they drawn to you? I'll just say, oh, that's okay. My question. Whom? Oh, interesting. Okay. Huh. All right. Whom do you trust almost as much as your patron? And what do you trust them with? Well, almost as much, huh?
Mhm.
You know, hmm. I'm gonna say uh Kiru, but I can't quite I need to sort of flesh out why. I think something about Kiru's being sort of connected to, you know, these. the Cat Clan
Hmm.
and something beyond. Um,
Do you think your patron had anything to, or patron, do you think your person had anything to do with cats?
could be, yeah.
Or just because I'm super blunt?
Well, no, I mean it's kind of like so. Bardum is already connected to something that's outside of this current
Hmm.
society, at least in terms of its the accepted part of this society, right? So I think Kiru being having to Bardum, it would seem similar in some kind of a way.
Right.
You know, we're both outsiders in a way that isn't necessarily obvious immediately, but
Hmm.
it's definitely an important part of how we move through the world.
I like that.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. How many hearts for Kira?
Yeah, I will. I'm happy to give you two.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Nice. So it's you trust them with your outsider status, that the shared,
Yeah.
you know, we're
That
kind
was
of similar.
actually,
Yeah. All right. And Kira, pick a question.
Hi, bud.
who once stopped me from breaking a serious law and what did it cost them?
Hmm.
It'd be kind of funny if it was the thief, to be honest, but you could pick whoever you want.
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm fine with that.
Thief?
What was the contest and context and what did it cost you?
I would like the idea that it's a serious law that's not obvious or like a social
Mm,
thing.
We talked about these districts that you're not supposed to go to, unless you're invited or anything. They could be like stopping you from going there.
I think the cost would just be visibility for the thief. But you think, Rod?
Uh, Say that again. You think the cost was
Um, just you got like as a thief, you probably don't particularly want people looking at you. So I said visibility, but I am, of course, open to other things.
It might have broken your cover a little bit, if you're pretending to be this
Or your
paramour.
lover, your person was not super pleased for some reason.
hmm.
What kind of, I guess, what kind of cost would you like?
Yeah.
uh what is it cost? Maybe like what if you were like trying to climb a gate to get somewhere that you weren't supposed to um
Because that's what a
and
cat would do, right? If you
uh,
if you can't pass something, like who put this here? I'm just gonna climb over it.
yeah and I stopped you but I called notice to myself and I was not supposed to be outside of the palace or the royal quarters or whatever at that time. So maybe what it cost me was some distrust uh, from whoever the person I'm with is.
Yeah, you can
Excellent.
go.
I will give you a heart, a single heart.
Okay.
Cool.
The good thing about the thief is you can steal hearts from people later if you want.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah. Speaking of the thief, Moonlark, ask one of your relationship questions.
oh boy. Whose heart did I break? How did it secretly break mine too? Uh,
Thank you for going with that one. Add
sure.
some
Is
drama.
uh, any volunteers or uh, If not,
Well,
I'll...
we have to complete the circle. We've gone all the way
Yes,
to the
that's true.
right, so I'm next, right?
Hmm.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I will volunteer as tribute for
Sweet.
this heartbreaking.
Yeah. How do you
And
rate? Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I guess Lunezal's epithet, "who gives their heart only to pull it back," I think is
Right.
seems to if Antaka is like kind of really open to that,
Hmm.
but maybe Lunazal is afraid or thinking that it's compromising their profession
Hmm.
to like have someone to care about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Um, that that seems kind of a good way to go.
How did secretly break your heart, Lindsay?
It reminds me of what I couldn't have, can't have, and what I cannot allow myself to have.
Yeah, like a real relationship or something.
So yeah,
Ah.
we'll put. I'll give you two for that.
Nice, love it. All right, so on your option, you can choose to ask a second question if you want, or you can say, I'm just going to pass. It's up to you. This is for Antaka.
Yeah, more petrol on the fire, right? More gas
Sure,
on the fire.
that's my attitude too.
Um, oh, okay. Um, I wonder if um, I guess I don't have any connection with Kiru, so I wonder if does it seem like something that Kiru would think that Antaka has a gentler side, or do you think it's about the carousing?
I think it's more likely to be the gentler side.
Um,
But
do you
you?
think there's something you see or feel about Antaka that tells you that? Or
Or smell. You could
yeah,
smell
yeah.
friendly.
How does would you have an idea of how Antaka would treat like actual animals?
Um, yeah, I
Or
think
what are things that Antaka respects?
maybe it's something like uh if you don't start nothing with like if an animal doesn't start anything, he is not going to start anything, right? And that's kind of how they are sometimes with people too. But um,
I think that
yeah,
I saw you do something like just a snake didn't like you were cool with something that other people would have just murdered on sight
okay, yeah, yeah,
and didn't judge it
um,
based on reputation, but on what it actually did. And so
yeah. Um, but I think this second part of this question, how have you tried to prove them wrong? I think maybe um, maybe Kiru's kind of suggestion or witnessing of this has gotten Antakya to like pick a fight that they didn't need to with a person, right?
Hmm.
Just like go, I don't know, like um I guess full on sword, right? I was gonna say something
Hmm.
um like predator mode, but that doesn't make sense. I think it's like, someone looked at him crossly, a guard or something like that, and he just goes to town on them,
Still tough.
just to kind of
I was about to
prove.
say, I was still mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
How many
Um,
hearts?
I think one makes sense here because I think Kiru kind of sees something about them, but it's not entirely true, right?
Hmm.
But it's definitely not entirely false.
Yeah, there's some potential there. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Kate Bardul, you want to ask a second question?
Sure. Who shared a dream with you and your patron? What warning did your patron give to both of you? Hmm. Who shared a dream with you and your patron? Well, who feels like they're in touch, like, with their dream state? Um, does anyone in particular want this? Trying to see. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. I don't
If
know.
I didn't already have a tie, I would say that I'm probably in touch with my dream state, but
That
I
makes
feel
sense.
like we shouldn't have to.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's up to you.
I think, yeah, I'm gonna say that Linazal used to be a monk, or at least grew up in a monastery, or was raised in a monastery.
Hmm.
So there's a religious connection there
Oh,
if you
yeah,
wanna take care of it. Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, and Lunazal walks in shadow. No.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And I think the warning. What would the warning have been?
Is it about this Atlantean ruin or old
I
god
think so.
maybe
I think
or
it has something to do with the old god that's in that ruin. I think it would be not quite so like it's a bit coded, right? Like it's not this patron speaks in riddles, of course. But it would be some sort of allusion to uh needing to unlock an old god living beneath our feet or something like that, you know?
a lot of adventure hooks here, which I love. That's great. How many hearts are you going to give uh, Moonlark?
Oh, how about one? Yeah, it's a little bit arbitrary.
All right, Kira, you get another question if you want.
Antaka, how would you feel about being shown a place in the wilds that is special to me, and why did I do it? I feel like there's somehow some connection to the other question in here.
Yeah, yeah, maybe makes sense. Like have we gone into the desert or the mountain or something beyond? I don't know. Or is it something in the city that reminds you of home?
I don't think that I've really figured out where the cats people who raised me are, but I think
You could have
the
traveled like
Opal.
all the way to the jungle too, or
I think that there was a place that in the wilds that I went away from the cat clan to just like hang out with my differentness. And
Mhm.
I'm right now, I think it's some like shut down mine. Like there's a parts of the opal mines that aren't being worked anymore.
Why do you take Intaka there? Just to guide them, or that was a special moment? Did you go on a date? It's up to you. Or maybe to hide them during the civil unrest, potentially, that we talked about.
Ooh, which is more interesting? Either I brought you there to like help me lift something, or I brought you there to hide you from something.
Um,
Or because I guess one of us got hurt. I want to go straight to
yeah,
tropes.
Yeah, maybe this brought me there to hide me when, for some reason, the heat got too much. Maybe someone decided they needed to get rid of me.
Just hang out in the secret caves until everything blows over. I like it. How many hearts?
Ooh,
Yeah, because you wouldn't just reveal this
right.
place to anyone. You know, it's very special to you. So,
Right, yeah.
all right. And finally, Moonlark, do you want to ask another question?
Great. Uh, whom did I once steal something for at great risk, and what was it?
Um,
Mhm.
I kind of wonder if it could be something related to my patron and the ruin. Um, maybe there was some artifact of that that's supposed to prove the existence of this god.
Of your patron?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you think about that?
Sure. Uh, I'm thinking a weapon, a mask.
Oh, I see.
Um,
Yeah. Um, Honestly, I don't know. It could be even just be like a clay tablet that has,
mhm.
kind of an inscription that's some sort of inscription on it.
Well, we know writing is heavily controlled, so
Yeah.
that
Oh,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you broke into the archives to steal this or something, or some noble's private collection.
Oh, yes. There we go. You and your nobles.
Yeah. All right.
yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Uh,
How
zero, one,
many?
or two hearts.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm gonna give you two because I think I've recognized that there's something about you that is unique,
Mm-hmm.
given your tie to the to your patron.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, that reminds me that I wanted you to add one more heart, so it's two hearts from Ordum.
Okay.
That's kind of an intense connection, so I think
Mhm.
it's better.
You were definitely bound together. Okay, I'm pretty happy with these webs of relationships, but if anyone has a question like they really wanted to ask someone else, you can do it now. Otherwise, I think we can move on to the world force questions.
I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Why don't we do reverse order? Okay. So starting with Kim for Kiru. Okay, so let me tell you what we're doing. Each player is going to answer one to two of the world force related questions on your sheet. This sets up reasons for the world forces to create trouble for you. That way we will have a complete adventurers ready to shine and antagonistic world forces ready to engulf them in darkness. Everyone is connected to the world and each other in some way. So ask one of those world force questions. You can create an NPC or, particular creature or something associated with it. So, or you don't ask, this one you actually say, I think.
Okay. I am looking at what the other clans are because I think I trespassed on. I think I trespassed someplace sacred to the eagles,
Yeah.
and I think they won't forgive me because it's a sacred place and I made it unsacred with my presence.
Hmm.
Pick out a name here. That makes sense. friends, including
Where did you
performers.
find the list of other clans?
Uh,
Oh, for the Wolfling, you describe your foster parents as
Oh,
Wolf Clan, Elephant Clan, Cat Clan, Lion Clan.
yeah.
do you like
So I just picked the one that the cat would be most likely to antagonize.
That makes sense.
what about Anuber, servant of the sky god?
Sounds great.
Okay. So Anuber of the Eagle clan. Is it because
That
the sky is forbidden to all but the Eagle clan, or why won't they just let it go?
I think the double insult of the Sky Clan or the Cat Clan and the Eagle Clan don't overlap,
Hmm.
and the Eagle Clan doesn't especially like human people, so I doubly insulted their sacred place.
Okay, sounds good. Bardoon.
Is this a thing that I'm writing down somewhere, or you're
Oh,
writing down somewhere?
I wrote it down on your World Forces questions. If you want, I can bold
Okay,
it.
excellent.
But I also
Oh,
made
yeah.
them a GM character, I think. I'll flesh them out later. Sky Clan. Eagle Clan, sorry. I'm sure they won't show up again to cause some
No,
problems.
why would I make an antagonist? Let them
Yeah.
show up again.
All right, Bardoon, pick one.
All right. Oh my goodness. Okay. As there's two good ones here. How did your patron protect you from a divinely sent plague? And why has your survival enraged death? Um, haha. Okay. Let's see. How did my patron protect you? I think my patron, who I've given a name finally, on here is their name, or his name actually. Um, let's see. So on here probably told me to get out of the streets right as a divinely sent plague. Maybe a plague of insects
Hmm.
came through. Um,
So
except
Ashug might have sent some swarms of insects.
yeah,
Uh,
but they would
what?
have had to be like venomous or something, right? Otherwise, why would death be enraged if I survived? If they were just locusts, for example, then that wouldn't have harmed me directly.
I mean, it could be like in the Mummy where they had those scarabs that like devour people's flesh and stuff.
Were you supposed to become infectious?
Oh,
Ooh, that's good
maybe.
too. Yeah.
Yep, I like that. Yeah, maybe.
The
Oh
other
no.
thing that I could see is that because Nintu is the god of boundaries and gates, the
Yeah.
place that you hid from this plague might have been forbidden in some way.
Oh, that's true. I see. Okay.
So it's like pettiness, more like you didn't respect my domain.
Okay. So yeah, I think it's something along those lines. Maybe I was already walking along the cliffs and then my patron tells me to go hide under one of the caves or something, which I'm not supposed to be in to begin with, but
Hmm.
the particular one that I went into perhaps was a little too close to the gate. So,
Okay. So Nintu has it out for you. Go ahead and write that down on your world forces section.
oh, amazing. Love it.
All right. And Taka, you can ask one of yours or say one of yours.
Yeah, so this one, you were a proper city guard once. What happened? Who was your confidant and now captain of the guard? Give them one heart. So I think obviously we've kind of touched on this before. There was some kind of takeover.
Mhm.
The rulers, maybe some of the old gods were overthrown. And yeah, this look at the list of names. I like Ushigal, which
Mhm.
means dragon chief, which probably fits. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe I was unbribeable, or maybe I was not even
Mhm.
attempted to because Ushigal said, "Don't even try, we'll kill him."
Mhm.
So betrayal, right? Um,
Yeah, maybe they're a little hurt that you didn't join their side or whatever. No, that they still respect you, but it's like now we're on opposite sides of this conflict. So I'll
yeah.
have to think about that. What's Ushikal's pronouns?
Uh, let's go with she, her.
Her guard captain and plus one heart from Intaka. All right. And then finally, Lunazal answer a question.
I'll go with the easy one. Who among the city's powerful protects me from the law? What are they holding over you? I think that's my nobleman. I'm gonna call him Adamu.
It makes a lot of sense.
Uh, oh, there.
So what's you said Adabu?
Adamu, yeah. Adamu.
Adamu. What are they holding over you?
Hmm. Uh, because I'm with him, uh hmm, yeah, I mean just access. Maybe he's holding it unknowingly that, he's given me access to things I would not be able to get to otherwise.
They could cut
And
you
the question,
off. Yeah.
yeah, cut me off, yeah.
Okay. And they don't may not even realize that they're protecting you from the law. Their influence is
Yeah,
protecting you from the law, so that they cut you off, you'd be open season, right?
right.
Potentially. All right. Going back around, Kim, do you want to ask a second question, or you good? You keep saying ask, answer.
Sure.
Well, I was asking you, Kim,
Oh, okay.
and if not, you can pass.
Yes. No, sorry. Dog was being noisy. I had to unmute. Um, what did I bring with me from an Atlantean ruin, and how is it getting harder to keep this secret? I think it's something broken, and it's either starting to make a noise or glow.
Like you have this MacGuffin that you don't even know what it does. Like, cats pick up stuff and everything. And it's like, is it dangerous? Is it just, causing
It's just
problems?
shiny.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a MacGuffin that's somehow attached to the moon. It gets brighter when it's
Oh, I like
full
that a
and
lot. Yeah.
glimmering. and it was initially very like faint, and it's less faint.
Let's keep it open as to what it does now for now, but
Okay.
I like that a lot. All right, so
If
just
you
no.
want me to come up with something, let me know. If not, I'm happy to have it be a thing.
I have a feeling it's connected to the tower somehow, but I'm
Okay.
not sure yet. So leave it ambiguous. Regardless, you're not supposed to have it, and it's drawing a lot of attention. So, Bardum, do you want to answer a second one?
Or let's um who among the pantheon hates your patron? When did this start? Um
I feel like Nushka might, if there's this history in writing, but you could also
yeah.
choose someone else if you feel like
Mhm.
multiple people hate your patron.
uh yeah, let's go with Nushka for now. I don't really have a strong narrative to go with that though.
Could be just
Uh,
as long as you remember, it's been like this.
yeah, that's true. Okay, thank you.
Right. And and Taka, do you want to answer another one, or are you good?
I think it's good to, piss off another Pantheon member, right?
What did you
Uh,
do?
it says, when did you refuse to bow to a Pantheon member? Who was it and why? I want maybe this is the reason I had to flee to Kiru's lair, right?
Mm.
One of the gods came before me and demanded my servitude or something. Who does it make sense do that? Um, I mean, into maybe, you know, if if it was fitting for me to be a servitor of death, right?
Could be. I could also see a Shog if it like I'm going to keep you in my pocket as a resource, or
Yeah,
Ishkur if
yeah,
like it's your destiny to do this. It's up to you.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Let's go with Nintu, right?
Okay, so
Um,
by extension, that probably means that Ushadal is technically a servant of death in some way now.
uh, yeah. I mean, I guess they are the captain of the guard, so maybe they are bound to the whole pantheon or the rulers. I don't know how it works.
Oh, it could be. They could be a guard for a specific temple, or like this lighthouse, or like for the city in general. So yeah, let's go with the whole pantheon for now. Cool, cool, cool. And then finally, because then I can place them wherever appropriate. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Finally, Moonlark, do you want to answer another question?
You're muted.
Muted?
Yeah.
Thanks. What did you once steal from the Pantheon? How has it caused how has it caused problems for you and your friends? Uh, uh, no, I'm thinking I think I stole from Nettie to see deity.
Yeah, who was that?
Searing knowledge. It was a figurine of a two-headed mermaid, and it's caused problems because we have to pass it around the group. I think it talks in some weird language,
Hmm.
and
That's fine.
if you hear it too long, it has adverse effects. I'm not sure what though. So we have to pass it around, like, who has the mermaid today? Um, so
It's
yeah,
currently least driven mad.
yeah.
You can see why you're so meddlesome to these gods and everything. Cool, cool, cool. So I really love the characters that we've made, and I love the world that we've created together. I don't think everybody. Rod, I think you have to pick two moves. So sometime in the next
Oh,
week, if
okay.
you can go through into that.
Mhm.
Um, we could technically do a quick World Forces scene, but we may want to save it for the start of next time. So let me just explain so you guys can think about it next week. So the World Forces scene is an interlude in which the players flip the script and briefly play the antagonist. It foreshadows what the world has in store for the adventurers, allowing the players to signal to the GM what challenges that they want to encounter. So first we pick a world force to narrate, like from the Pantheon, the city, the wilds, the legacy of Atlantis, or death. So this could be like in Clash of the Titans, where all the gods are around and they're like, what are we supposed to do about these meddlesome adventurers and something? And everybody plays a different god. It could be back in the past in Atlantis as they were sealing away this old god, and everybody plays like an Atlantean or the god itself. That could be kind of fun. It could be members of the Eagle Clan debating how they're going to take revenge against, get this clan interloper. So whatever we think is the most fun thing, we decide on the stakes of the scene. Like, what is the debate here? What's the resolution going to be? Like how this god was sealed away, or what revenge the Pantheon is going to take. And based on that, we frame a scene and we all play it out. So if we want to let that have a little bit of time to breathe, we can again think about that during the week. But just decide like out of those options or another one that you could think of, like what would be the most interesting to you. And go from there. I think we have a couple more minutes left. Does anyone want to do like a quick round of stars and wishes about things that you liked about this character creation system and things that you're looking forward to and stuff? Again, I thought this was really great. I thought you all had really interesting ideas. I think, we have a really cohesive band of adventurers now. I think there's a lot of mischief for me to get up to. So thank you all for giving me these toys to play around with. I have a lot to think about between next week. So I definitely am very curious about some of these dangerous artifacts, this tower beneath the city, and also this no-go zone, and some of the NPCs that we've been establishing too. So lots of fun things. Who wants to go next?
I wrote down a quote from, I believe it was you, let's keep it complicated, and Donna, find out the bad way. And those were both things that I really enjoyed hearing and made me excited to keep playing. It seems like it's going to be messy in a really satisfying way.
Yeah, I can just say I do love that we have definitely gone for messy, yes. And I'm looking forward to that. Because it's messy but when it has some structure to it, of course. So yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that. And I don't know. Alex, this is, you hold a really good space. I think it feels really good to be connected to all of you and see where we're going.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the world building and character relationship building. I think while it was, while it could have been very stale and formulaic, I picked something from the drop down. We had a really great discussion and building on stuff that was done before or whatever. So yeah, I really enjoyed that process and I'm looking forward to our messy next session.
I really like I really like how the character creation informs the setting creation and vice versa. Like, it really plays off um, with each other. Um, and yeah, it's exciting. It's fun seeing where our characters, just the starting point of our characters being, so drama, inviting to drama, means that, it's only going to get crazier from here, I think. So looking forward to all that. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, the way this game works, it generally does work like in 2 or 3 episode arcs. So we'll definitely get a chance to play out with all of these things that we've established and everything. But again, just think about next week. Like, what do you guys want to have to deal with first? Like, what's the most compelling hook for you? And we'll go from there. Other than that, hope everyone has a really great rest of your week, and I will see you next week. I'll go ahead and pause the recording. So.